Welcome to episode 42 of Generation Gap Book Reviews. I'm Christy the mom.
And I'm Lena the daughter.
In this episode, we are going to be reviewing Beneath the Swirling Sky by Carolyn Leiloglou. It is the first book in a series, a trilogy called The Restorationists. I first heard about this book because it was on NetGalley, the site that I get advanced reader copies from. And it was actually published by the same people that published, or it was in this, at least on NetGalley, it was put there by the same people that put out the Wingfeather Saga.
Which we just
Finished.
reviewed.
It's true. And it sounded really interesting, so I requested it. And then I read it and told you to read it.
Actually, I read it.
I read it and
I read
then
it twice.
bought the book, and I think then you read it.
Yeah, we bought it. I think we found it at Barnes and Noble, and we were really excited.
I was really excited to see it there because it's a Christian book, and I don't know, I just don't see as much of that kind of stuff, like, because it was out on one of the tables and stuff. It wasn't just on the shelves, from what I remember. And yeah, you have read it twice now because you had read it.
I read it once, and then it was before I was reading.
Well, obviously not before you were reading because you read it.
I knew. I hesitated. And then
Before you were into reading regularly.
yes, and then the second book came out, and I didn't read it. And then the third book came out, and I still didn't read it. And then I got into reading. Well, I'm not sure when the third book came out. Might have been after
Wasn't
I got
that long
into reading.
ago, actually.
But then I was like, hey, I should read that series
By that
again.
point,
and
you
then I was
forgot
like,
the first book
I
so
don't
much.
remember what happened in the first book.
So you went back
then I
and reread it
again.
recently.
Yep.
So, do you want to do the synopsis?
Vincent, well, for spring break, he goes to his great uncle Leo's house for the spring break, and his parents are gone. They leave him there with his his like half cousin. I don't remember.
Step or half. She's like,
she's not a full cousin.
I think Leo is her grandfather, so that makes her like a second cousin or something like that.
They're still kind of cousins, so.
Second cousin.
Okay. And what's her name?
Georgia.
Georgia. Yeah.
She's named after Georgia O'Keeffe. Vincent is named after Vincent van Gogh. That's the correct way to say it.
Okay. Anyways, so
it's good
and
to know.
Vincent is very like video games. So there's no internet like at his great uncle's house. So he's just like depressed.
He feels like he assumes he's gonna be bored.
Yeah.
His great uncle is a painter restorer.
Yeah.
And Vincent used to be into art.
Yeah, and then
But now he doesn't care about art anymore.
Something happened, and he was just like, I don't want to paint anymore.
So he expects to be bored the whole week.
Yeah.
And he expects to be lectured about art.
Then something strange begins to happen. His little sister Lily disappears into a painting because that happens.
Vincent himself unexpectedly falls into Starry Night by his namesake. And that's when he finds out that he can travel through paintings. Then Lily disappears into the same painting. And Vincent and Georgia try to find her. Yes. So, Lena, what did you like about this book?
Paintings. I'm a little bit of a painter, but I don't paint that much because I'm not that good. So, but I do like seeing paintings and learning about paintings. So, like, I feel smarter. Even though I probably forgot everything I learned after reading it.
I don't know that I really feel like I learned much about art reading this.
Well,
I was exposed to names of artworks.
Mm-hmm.
There are illustrations in the book.
The crow one. Oh yeah, that's one of the things I like about it.
That there are pictures of.
There are illustrations. There are illustrations, and I also like how there's like this place between paintings that's like dark, and the pages on a physical book, of course, pages are gray.
Yeah, and you can actually, when you look at the side of the book, the pages, when it's closed, you can actually kind of see all of those parts because the gray stands out amongst the rest of the light-colored pages. What else do you like?
Characters are interesting, and there's a certain scene that was like mind-boggling. That's all I can say.
I'm just going to start off by saying that the world building, the main premise and everything of the Restorationists and the moving between paintings and everything is really cool. I mean, come on, who hasn't watched Blue's Clues and then wanted to be able to skidoo themselves? So, and the way that the author came up with the idea for traveling between paintings and in and out of them and between, like, to go to other places was really neat. It was all really well done. And then it also started to expand to involve other things that different ones of these restorationists could do within paintings. So, and yeah, the characters are well crafted. They are teenagers, Vincent and Georgia, and they squabble like teenagers. They get along just about as well as two siblings would. They're not siblings, but they're thrown together, and they have her grandfather and his great uncle, and they're kind of living in close quarters. And um, but their friendship that evolves during this book was one I really really liked. And if I remember right, I don't remember the details about this, but I remember putting Georgia and Lily into a list of characters, like character duos that I really
Mm.
liked too. So there must have been something about them that I really liked too. This book starts off a plot arc that carries over throughout the whole trilogy about villains that basically have some of the same abilities, but they do bad things with them, and that whole side of things is really interesting too. And like you mentioned, like you kind of briefly mentioned, Vincent in this throughout this book started to really have to face his negative attributes, his personality flaws, as he didn't really treat Georgia all that nicely all the time, and Georgia was dealing with jealousy about him, about what he could do and stuff, and that all culminated in a scene, the scene that you mentioned, the one I think you said
Boggling.
mind-boggling scene that was I haven't it's been a long time actually since I read this, and normally I would feel the need to reread something that I've read this long ago. It's been I guess it's not been as long as I thought, like 2.5 years. Yeah, 2.5 years. um I didn't feel the need to reread this because it stuck with me, and that one scene was one of my favorite scenes in any book, in any fiction.
Hmm.
And I mean, it was awesome, and I really can't even say that much about it, but it was awesome. So, is there anything you didn't like about this book?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, the only thing I remember was Vincent's his whatever. I can't even remember what happened. He painted something and it wasn't as good or something like that, and that's why he decided he didn't like painting anymore, didn't like art anymore at all.
I don't know if it was like a school thing or if it was just like he felt like his mom was like.
See, I was thinking it might have had something to do with his mom. His the thing that bugged me that started to really grate on my nerves was that he kept trying to convince himself that he didn't really like art anymore, even as he was starting to get into things and into the restorationist side of things, and it got a little repetitive. That's pretty much it.
What do you rate it?
5 stars. Even that little bit that I mentioned, that the repetitiveness and stuff wasn't
Hmm.
enough because the rest of the book was so good. I had to give it 5 stars. What about you?
Probably 5 stars.
If you can't think of anything you don't like about
I
it, then how can it be anything less than five
don't
stars?
know why I would have put it at 4.5. I just
And who do you recommend it to?
everybody.
Everybody.
No, not really. Well,
Why not?
probably 10 and up. I mean, you don't really have to be a kid to enjoy it.
No, you don't, because I loved it. I don't pay full price for books very often, and I bought this at Barnes& and Noble, and it wasn't like on clearance or anything
Hmm.
like that. I have the whole series now. I mean, granted, I got two of them for Christmas, but still,
Yeah.
I love this book.
And we will be coming back to it whenever I read them
So
again.
yes, it is Christian, but it's not.
But it's
I,
not Christian.
well, that's not true. It's not preachy. We're talking a book for 13 or so year olds that it is it's hard to explain exactly. It is not the kind of, like a lot of adult Christian books, the Christianity comes in where the main characters are just like silently praying to God for help, or
Yeah.
sometimes the characters can get a little preachy about and well, so not I don't even always necessarily feel like they're being preachy when somebody who really doesn't like Christian content will call it preachy. This is subtle enough, except
Mhm.
for the one moment. That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't think I think that's good enough. Overall, I would say, other than the one moment, that I would more classify this as a book written with a Christian worldview than even a Christian book. So
Mhm.
if you don't normally read Christian fiction, but you at least don't have a complete hatred for Christian fiction, you
Mm.
still seriously give this a try. It is very good. And
Very good.
I've read the whole series, and it is a complete trilogy, so it ends with the third book, and I'm actually very sad about that. But I also get it because sometimes you don't want to carry things on too long and just keep coming up with new stuff if you have a complete story in mind.
Don't
And
spoil.
you are going to
Don't you?
read the other two
Someday.
soon enough that you don't forget everything about the first book again. And I'm sure we'll revisit them because even if you don't like them as much as me, we'll revisit them. So yeah, so that's it for this book though.
Yay! Join us next time when we will be reviewing Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir.
Until next time, I'm Christy,
And I'm Lena.
and this is
Generation Gap Book Reviews.